Let's jump into user interface in Rhino 6. So Rhino 6, it's composed by different areas. As you can see here at the very top, you can find the title bar and the menu bar with all the different commands. Right under the menu bar, you can find the command history window with the command line. So here you can just type your commands. Under the command prompt, you can find the tab toolbar where you can find actually all the commands very nicely grouped together with the left side hand commands. So these are the most commonly used commands, so it's easier just to go and select one of those. On the right hand side you can find the panels, so here you can see the property panels and the layer panels, and with the 4 viewport in the center of the screen. At the same time you have at the very bottom the OSNAP toolbar and the status bar. Different toolbars, you just need to make right click on top of one of the blank spaces, show toolbar, and then you can select different toolbars that will appear here in this pop-up window. You just need to grab it from the tab in order to introduce it in a specific location, and if you grab it from the blue area, you will just be able to insert it. So let's continue with commands in Rhino. So there are different ways how to launch commands in Rhino. So basically you have the menu bar at the very top. Here you can find basically all the different commands in Rhino. Then you can also use all these icons around. You can also type the commands directly on the command line and then hit enter. You can repeat the command if you want by right clicking on the mouse or spacebar or enter key. Basically you need to watch out and not to have anything written in the command line. Let's continue into getting feedback in Rhino. Command line is one of the most important part of Rhino. So here actually it's very small. So basically you can grab this separation line down in order to see and have more space in your command history line. Let's type rectangle. So when we write or we click on an icon to use a command, we always have different options available. So in order to use these commands, you can just eyeball approximation. You can just draw a rectangle. We can actually make right click on the command history to see previously used commands. You can also be way more precise. For example, you can make click in one of these options, or you can also use the letter that is underscore, for example center C. So here you can just type the center of the rectangle. So imagine that we use the 0, 0, 0 coordinate and then hit enter. Then we are being much more precise in building our geometries. In the property panel you can find information about any selected object. So if nothing is selected, the information will be just about the current viewport. So if you are in a different panel, just to go back to property panel, you can go to this colorful wheel, or you can go to edit and object properties, or just press F3. If nothing is selected, you can also adjust, for example, the camera view angle. So right now it's 25. If you want to change this to 30, this is where you will find the place how to modify it. So at the same time, if you select the object properties will be displayed, and you see that it's a closed curve. You can type a name. In case you have a surface, it's also possible to display the ISO curve. If you just want to have a bit more neat surface, here is where you can increase the density or just hide all this information. In the layer panel, you can at the same time change the color and then have the control of what is visible. You can lock the different layers, and you have further information. Let's continue with Gumball. So this is a Rhino 6 feature that you will use a lot. So Gumball can be a handle or a gripper. So you can do transformations like moving, rotating, scaling, and more. It's better to use Gumball for doing single object transformation. So let's go and draw a line. In order to activate Gumball, you can find this option here at the bottom of the screen. Once you select your object, you will see that you have a coordinate system. So here you see there is X, Y, and Z handles that you can actually click on top of it and just move your object in 3D space. So you can also click in one of them and give a specific value, so to move objects more precisely. You can also use this square to move along the plane. You can also extrude objects like curves just by clicking on this dot, and then you will transform this curve into a surface. If you want to copy an object, you just need to press Alt key and then press one of the axis in the direction where you want to do this extra copy. You can rotate the object very easily. You can scale in 1D, or you can also scale in 3D if you press Shift.